this, that whole thing, okay? Don't get stiff and lean back. Just move, period. So that your shoulders drop down your back. Yeah. And then this, you must be much looser. There you go. Good. Carry them up front. So that they're separate from the body. So this is, in eventing, we talk a lot about having independent hands. Independent, that's what we need. But out here. And then when things go funny, you know, you're riding horse, you like, fix his neck up, or drop his back, or step on, or whatever. We want to just go, get your head down, or somehow we think bring your back up, or whatever. I know. I know. I have to be but, if you just for yourself, keep your hands here, and think of influencing the hind end to keep coming, and you go, how do you do that? Well, you keep following in your seat, which you can do. You stick in there very nicely. Follow in your seat and literally think. Put your hind feet under my seat. Hind feet under my seat. Just keep repeating that mantra and bring the withers up. Okay? Now, the whole thing is not going to change in a day, but this part can change in a day, and the idea of bringing this back down can change in a day. Put those there and right up to them. It works for driving too. Okay.
Always struggling to keep my hands still, you know, and soft at the same time, you know.
Well,
so my methods are, okay, keep my shoulders, keep my, you know,
that won't
keep
work.
my elbows here.
That won't work because that is still relative to you. The horse moves. It has to be still relative to the bit in his mouth. Okay? In walk, the horse naturally goes, no, it's not like this. This is what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah.
In walk, the horse naturally does this with each step. He does this. Mm-hmm. So your hands have got to do this in walk. Your elbows have got to do this in walk. In trot, the horse's head does not stick out. Okay? So in trot, your hands just have to stay still relative to the horse. And since you're posting, okay, I'm posting on my horse. You see how my hands come with me? I'm going to bump them in the mouth every time. So, yeah, you have to, I can't do it without a horse underneath me. Okay, you have to bend your elbows each time so that my hands are now still relative to the ground for the most part. Yeah, it's really hard to do sitting here like this.
I'm working too.
It's a good Pilates exercise. Get that camera on my face. Okay, and then when you're cantering, the horse has got to do this.
There you go.
Okay, you've seen it 100 times. You watch a Kentucky Derby. So your hands have to do circles in canter. Okay, so still is relative to the horse. Your job is to control this bit in space. Did you ever have one of those invisible horses when you were a little kid? Mm-hmm. Had all the horse guts in it and the whole thing? God, it was fun.
I know I have invisible man.
Ooh! Was he anatomically correct? Oh, I'm sorry. It's so bad. Okay, so think of this as an invisible horse and this bit just hanging in space. It's your job to stay connected to it by having your hands still relative to this. Not still relative to you. Okay? And it's not easy to do, but now I've shown you how to do that. Okay. So let's play with it, and I do mean play. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and do make bigger changes than you think are appropriate. Okay? So let's walk. Just go ahead and walk in 20 your circle. Good. And now I want you to feel what's happening in your hands and follow with your elbows. Softness and elastic. I like your hands better already because they're out in front of you. Now don't lean back. Sit up over your hips. Sit right over your hips. There you go. Now, feel with your hands. Follow. Okay, I want you to do me a favor and break rule number 3 of horsemanship, which is never look down. And I want you to look at the reins. And look carefully at them, that sometimes they are tight and sometimes they are loose. I want you to keep watching your reins and do whatever you need to do in your elbow to have them always be elastically connected. Okay, just keep staring at it. Keep staring at your hands. Just keep staring at it. Because, you know, you've been doing it the same way you've been doing it for 15 years. So if this takes 15 minutes to understand, that's fine with me. So, yeah. So you feel really goofy now, don't you? Because your elbows feel like they're flopping all over. But your hands are still relative to the horse's mouth. Look, there's no more flop in your ring. Keep looking at it. Don't pull back. Think about the shoebox and ride up here. Put your shoulders over your hips. Don't lean back. Your shoulders over your hips. Yes. So much nicer. Again, shoulders over the hips. Don't lean back. Now, does it, this sounds